Tacoma, Washington. This is David Feeder from Salem. Ellis Chassis, Chevy engine. 15:31 for David Feeder on lap 1.15:85 for the number 6 of Belton on lap number 1.
Anderson of Tacoma, Washington, and Evan, first of all, congratulations. Pretty busy weekend for you with the sprint car. A lot of laps turning out there in the qualifying session that we had going on. And then hopping into the midget, it's probably helping you out quite a bit.
Yeah, it is nice. You get to, pretty much double the track time, so you get a really good eye on the track, and you can really make some good adjustments. Hopefully get the two cars up front. Midget's pretty good. Got a little bit of work to do on the sprint car, but I think we'll get there.
Kyle was just telling us that this racetrack is super, super fast tonight. It should be really exciting for the fans to watch.
Yeah, it is. The track's really fast. Let's see, hopefully it winds down a little bit in the main event, so everybody's not single file. But if they just let us lick off, I think they'll be in pretty good shape.
Well, Evan, congratulations on your Trophy Dash win in the midgets, and good luck in the sprint cars as well as the midgets later on tonight.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I really want to thank Matt Going, TS Waiting, everybody that helped me out. Running two cars really fast.
All right. Well, thanks for coming down.
Journey, Evan Martinson.
this weekend in Evans so far. Halfway to a clean sweep again in the midgets, just looking phenomenal. And you are the only driver that's doing double duty this weekend. So unlike the other 5 guys, who some of them haven't even dressed down in their driver suits yet, you've hit the track already.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a pretty good advantage for me to be running both cars. I get double the track time here, and especially with the way the track is tonight, I think we're going to be chasing it quite a bit. I think it's going to get pretty wide, pretty racy, so it should be a good show for everybody.
And so coming up next, a very important heat race for you in the midgets because of the track changing so much.
Yeah, definitely. We'll try and pay attention and see if we can make the right adjustments on this and make it translate to the sprint car, and hopefully, get us in a pretty good position in the dash and get us up front in one of those top 6 starting spots, and see what we can make happen for the last.
Well, Evan, congratulations. I know a lot of effort goes into making sure this thing makes it to the racetrack each and every week.
Yeah, definitely. We do a lot of work in the shop, but we also got a lot of help from other people, Mac Towing, TFC Plating, everybody that helps out on the cars. It's a team effort for sure.
All right, well, best of luck to you for the rest of this evening's program.
Thank you.
All right, race fans, Evan Margison. said both drivers from Washington, 30 laps of distance. Here we go, 3. Evan Martinson, first of all, congratulations, my friend. Sweep of the weekend for main events with the midgets, and they're putting up a pretty good run there. Fourth place finish, if I'm not mistaken, in the non-wing sprint. Busy weekend for you.
Yeah, it was definitely a busy weekend. I got a lot of laps around this place, and you know, the track was totally different tonight. I struggle a little bit when it's dry slick, so you know, I struggle with trying to make the right calls on the adjustments. And you know, we were pretty good. The sprint car made a couple adjustments there at the halfway point. You know, got a little better. Might have had a shot at third, but you know, we were probably a third or fourth place car. So Kyle and Colin, those guys were the class of the field tonight for sure.
Really had the bottom figured out in that midget race. Really ran some smooth laps. No one really had the top side really working for him. Garrett Johnson did there late in the race, but he had the field covered tonight.
Yeah, you know, I just kind of cruised around the bottom. You know, I figured I hadn't seen anybody's nose, and I felt like the car was pretty good down there. So, you know, I just, you know, make sure you hit your mark and, you know, just cruise and
Well, Evan, I know this is it for non-wing action. I know we talked a little bit. Might see you here in a couple of weeks, but it sounded like hitting some big races south of the Oregon border for the rest of the season.
Yeah, we got some big stuff planned at the end of November. We're probably going to head down south and run Turkey Night with the pavement car, and you know, we might run Ventura with the dirt car. You never know. We'll see.
All right, well, have a great rest of the year, my friend, and have a safe trip back to Tacoma.
Thank you very much.
All right, race fans, Evan Margison of Tacoma, Washington.